Gonna give 1 minute.
See you tomorrow. We're about to start. Have a good night. Bye.
I'm just looking here. Okay. Oh, no. Let me just see.
If you want to come in, we can do it either. I can't come in tomorrow. I'd like to do something. Okay, as long as you do it.
Why is not everybody?
I'll just say, I'll be in. Okay. Thank you.
I'm just going to stop the share 1 second, see why people not join, because they're supposed to be. Trying to see. 1 second. Just 1 second, we're just allowing all the attendees to join the meeting.
It's fine.
Let's see here. Just 1 second. Okay, people are joining now. It's just it was just taking a minute. I think they were in a away room. Now they're joining. Okay. Olá, boa tarde a todos. Muito obrigado pela presença. Bem-vindo ao tour virtual da Notre Dame Elmira High School. Obrigado pela presença. Para quem não me conhece, meu nome é Natália Warga, eu trabalho na 3W, que é uma Student Managed Company que representa mais de 50 high school particulares americanas no Brasil. Eu trabalho da matriz da empresa na cidade de Los Angeles, na Califórnia, e a minha colega Andréa Scipione, representante da 3W, trabalha de São Paulo. Nós estamos aqui hoje para apresentar a escola Notre Dame como se fosse um fan tour virtual, para vocês conhecerem a fundo a escola, todos os detalhes, a acomodação, sendo ela uma das melhores escolas preparatórias para a universidade nos estados de Nova York. Na acomodação é boarding e eles garantem um quarto individual para os estudantes. Nós contamos hoje com a presença da Patricia Mack, Head of School, Karen Jennings, Director of Transition, Michelle Barkley, Director of Public Relations, Deborah Friedel, International Student Coordinator. Nós vamos iniciar a apresentação, elas vão se introduzir, né, o papel dela na escola, quanto tempo elas estão na escola. Nós vamos iniciar depois a apresentação com um vídeo de um tour da escola, tá? A apresentação vai ser em inglês, pela Karen Jennings, mas a Andrea e eu vamos 2 vezes durante a apresentação, nós vamos fazer, dar um highlight em português dos pontos principais, tá? Depois nós vamos ter também um segundo vídeo contando um pouco da história da escola e o depoimento de alguns alunos, tá? A Andrea vai finalizar a apresentação com o processo de inscrição na escola e, por último, nós vamos ter as perguntas e as respostas. So, thank you all for Notre Dame for taking the time and doing this virtual event for the Brazilian students, family, and agents. If you'd like to, Deborah, and then everybody do a self-introduction, and after that, we're gonna start the presentation with the video.
Thank you, Natalia. My name is Deborah Frito. I'm the International Student Coordinator at Notre Dame High School. I'm also a teacher at the high school, and I'm originally from Elmira. So I have hosted international students from West Africa who attended Notre Dame, and it's nice to be with you, and then we're happy to be able to speak to you about our school. And I'll pass it to Michelle Barkley.
Hi, I'm Michelle Barkley. I'm the Director of Public Relations and Marketing at Notre Dame. I've been with the school, I'm in my 6th year with the school, and I have 4 children, and 2 of them are alumni of Notre Dame. They graduated, and one has a bachelor's from Keuka College. The other is working on her bachelor's from Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute of Technology. I also have a junior at Notre Dame High School, and I have a 7th grader at Notre Dame High School. So I certainly know plenty, both from the marketing side of things, but also as a parent. I've been very pleased with the academic and extracurricular experiences that my kids have been able to have at Notre Dame. So pass it over to Karen Jennings.
Hi, I'm really glad to be able to be here with all of you. I was the interim head of school, and I'm very happy that Tish has been hired to be the head of school going forward. So I'm here as the director of transition to get her going. Before that, I've been here for 9 years working with the junior high program, and then I was a science teacher and a guidance counselor, but I think one of my biggest connections to Notre Dame is the oldest. All 4 of my sons came to Notre Dame, graduated. They all graduated from Cornell University and are all doing really, really well. And I am 100% certain that some of their success is directly related to the education that they received at Notre Dame, both academically and socially, and also spiritually, because they are all good people who are caring and are committed to helping their communities. So I'm really happy to be able to be here with you today. And I will turn it over to Patricia Mack.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for meeting with us and letting us brag on our school that we are so proud of here. We live in a very small town, and it is a very family-oriented school. I was a graduate of 1985 from Notre Dame High School. Grew up in Elmira my whole life and went to Catholic school from kindergarten until my senior year of college. And so although I haven't worked in a Catholic school until now, I was a teacher for 22 years. I taught English and math to students with special needs. And with general ed teachers in the same classroom, an inclusion class, to provide services so that everybody, regardless of what their challenges were, received a great education. I then got into administration, and I've been an assistant principal and a principal at several different schools throughout North Carolina, New York, and New Jersey. I most recently came from the South to New York City and worked in a public charter school that serves students that are Black and brown and families that actually live in poverty. About 98% of our families lived in poverty. And as a young child, growing up in the Catholic faith, we were always told to help others in need. And I think that's where I got that from throughout my life. And I'm really excited now, 31 years later, to be back at Notre Dame, leading the school, and already feeling after just 5 short weeks that sense of home and family, and community. So thanks again, and we hope you enjoy our presentation. We also ask that you ask as many questions as you'd like. And if you think of questions afterwards, please don't hesitate to reach out to any of us on here. We'd be happy to answer them. Sometimes we don't think of things that we want to ask until somebody's gone. So please know that you can do that.
Thank you, ladies. I'm gonna now start with the video with the tour of the school. A gente vai agora iniciar então com o vídeo do tour da escola.
Welcome to Notre Dame. We hope you enjoy the virtual tour of our school in these times of COVID-19. Hospitality is the cornerstone of the Sisters of Mercy, and while we hope you enjoy the virtual tour, we look forward to seeing you in person soon. Welcome to Notre Dame. We hope you.
Karen, if you'd like to start the presentation.
I'd be happy to. So we made that video because we couldn't have tours. So most of the pictures that you saw were taken while we're spread out for COVID. And where we are located in the Finger Lakes, the southern part of New York, and it's where that little ND is on your map. It is a very small town and it's a very safe place. Right now, we have one of the lowest rates of positive testing and numbers of people in the hospital for COVID. So it's an area that takes the health very seriously. Right now, we expect to have at least 93% of our faculty and staff already vaccinated for COVID. So I think it's a concern for every family that is thinking about sending their children somewhere. This is a very safe area as far as that goes. As we go through the presentation, you'll see what it looked like in the classrooms before COVID so that you get an idea of how vibrant it is when we can be closer together. And we hope that we gave you an idea of how we've worked to enable our students to be back as much as they can in a safe a manner as possible. One of the advantages of being where we are is that we're centrally located among many cities, so that while we have the safety of being in a small town, we're only 4 hours from New York. We're 2 hours from Rochester. We're 4 to 5 hours from Toronto in Canada, 6 hours from Boston. So there's plenty of access to culture and colleges and activities outside our small area as well. Next slide, please. You can see how pretty it is. That's just a view of Elmira. We're located on the Chemung River, and that's our downtown. And it's an area of beautiful rolling hills. There are lakes just to the north of us. And we have 4 beautiful seasons. Right now, we're totally covered in snow, but it's a really sunny day. And hopefully spring will be here within a month. Next slide, please. We're located next to some amazing universities as well. Cornell is 45 minutes away, as is Ithaca College. The University of Rochester is 2 hours, along with RIT. The State University at Buffalo is enormous, and that's 2.5 hours. Binghamton is an hour. We're a very small town, but we are absolutely blessed to have our very own medical school that opened in September. It's called the Lake Erie College of Osteopathic Medicine. And we have an agreement with them to ease the application process and acceptance into that school right from high school. There are, certainly requirements for our students to complete to actually get into the medical school part and start, but because we're a small town and we've worked with the leaders of that school, we have a way to help students enter the medical field closely. And we can look out our windows and see Pennsylvania. So Mansfield University is in Pennsylvania. We're less than an hour from there, and we're 2 hours from Penn State University, less than 4 hours from all the schools in Philadelphia. So if students are interested in visiting any of these colleges, it is extremely accessible and easy to happen. Next slide, please. So there's some of our students. We have 3 Chinese students in the center, and then they're surrounded by our local students. We have a dorm located actually right across the road. It's a very small road. It's a little traffic circle really from our building, and that's where our students have been housed. Each student, well, there they are. They're having dinner. They get their dinner meals, and the weekend meals are served in the dorm. And the people that work in the dorm, it's been run by Twin Palms. Their basic concern has been to act as family here at Notre Dame for all the kids that we have. So they've arranged their meals to be what the kids like to eat, and they make sure that they have snacks and beverages available. They encourage family style meetings. They have 24/7 coverage, and the director of the dorm also works very closely with our guidance department so that we're supervising academics. We're actually being the parents that we have. We're helping you be the parent long distance. We have activities that include the domestic students as well as the international students. And this is a Friendsgiving that we've had every year. We've had, there's faculty there. We have our local students. There are Chinese students. And it's an event where we all share. So they share some of the traditions from China, and we have shared some of the traditions from America. And it's kind of been a highlight every year that we have things like that. Mrs. Barkley, who's also on this call, for all she told you, she's also a social worker. So she kind of keeps an eye out to make sure that the kids are adjusting and being cared for emotionally and socially, not just academically, so that they have an easier time adjusting. There you can see we have a big room where the kids have recreation and they can have their friends over. You can see there's a domestic student playing video games, just like kids play games everywhere. They have ping pong, there's pool table, they have access to the gym, and they're really made to be part of our program and part of our life. We have families who have reached out and taken kids on trips, invited them into their homes, because we want the kids to feel comfortable. Our dorm has single rooms for everyone. Then they share bathrooms. They have, oh, yep, that's more Friendsgiving. That's part of the big community room. We have a big laundry facility in the basement. They pretty much have everything that they would need as far as the dorm goes. And they can come, like if someone invites them over for Saturday afternoon, they can come and they can go. There's people signing out. They're kept track of all the time. The dorm also has a bus, so they can take kids on trips. So they've gone all around the area. They've taken them farther away. They've taken them to visit colleges, depending on what the interests are, so that they can take advantage of the beautiful area that we live in, because we really are very blessed to live in rolling hills, the lakes, the waterfalls. It's a unique area that's absolutely lovely all 4 seasons of the year. Next slide, please. As far as academics go, when our students first come to us, they meet with our guidance department to talk about what they've had before, what their goals are, and where they're headed. And we have a variety of choices of help for them. So next slide, you can see our guidance counselor is working with a student on picking her classes. We offer probably the standard that most schools do, but because we are a school that's sponsored by the Sisters of Mercy, we have incorporated the Sisters' critical concerns in our classrooms, and we offer theology from 7th grade through 12th grade. And that's our school covers 7th grade through 12th grade. Besides theology, we have math, we have English, and it goes from 7th grade all the way till the AP classes so that they can earn extra credit in college. We have social studies and the humanities. You can earn extra college credit that way as well. In the humanities, we have, we'll see art in a little bit. This is social studies pictured right here. And you can tell that's a social studies teacher working one-on-one with one of our students. Our teachers start at before 8 in the morning. Classes don't start till 8:20, and they don't leave till 3:30. Classes are over at 3, and they have free time during the day, and they are extremely willing to meet one-on-one with students that need extra help. They're very willing to give of their time. We've been doing it through COVID, through office hours virtually, but when we're one-on-one, they are very happy to work with any student who's interested in learning. Next slide, please. In the sciences, we have the introductory sciences in 7th grade. In 8th grade, then we have biology, chemistry, earth science, physics, and we have all of those with advanced placement. We have environmental science, bioethics, and we really encourage a hands-on, lab-oriented inquiry-driven program. This is our AP chemistry class, working hard. And besides the STEM, we have math and all that. We also have the arts and the humanities. So we have art classes, 7th grade and available all the way through 12th grade. And they learn a variety of techniques from the basics in studio to drawing and painting, printmaking. We have digital photography. They can build a portfolio. Some of our really STEM, science and math kids find taking an art class is just a good creative way to have some downtime during the day, where it's different and it's relaxed. This is a drawing and painting class. Next slide, please. We also have band, and we have chorus, so you can go to the next slide. And they are, they have practiced some lessons. Oops, I thought we had another slide. Well, just stay right on that one. In the music classes, it's performance-based, so they do practices and they have some learning and some training, and then we have concerts in at Christmas time and in the spring. And if possible, our teachers have arranged for, especially the chorus, because it's easy to move a chorus. They just sing. They've sung at our local hockey team games. They've been at like Christmas tree lightings. Anytime that we can showcase our students, we're really happy to do that. Next slide now, please. So one of the things we're really proud of and our kids are really delighted with is that we have an excellent cafeteria. And what's really important for our international students is that our cafeteria and our breakfast ladies provide breakfast and lunch for the students in the dorm, and sometimes food on the weekends. And I can truly say that our ladies that cook for us are the most happy when the kids are happy with what they're eating, and they will develop whatever sorts of meals the kids want. They started out with breakfast being one kind of muffin, one breakfast sandwich, cereal and fresh fruit. And it's expanded when it's not COVID, like 5 different kinds of muffins. Their kids come in the middle of the morning because they want, if they have some free time or like a study hall, they'll come in and have their second breakfast. It's very successful. The kids love it, and it adds to our feeling of family that we have. This is our cafeteria, and that's actually a special day during Spirit Week, and they're dressed in red. Actually, I think that might be a celebration of Chinese New Year. That's why they're all in red, but we celebrated we do it every year. We even did it this year virtually. Today is our trivia contest. We had a dumpling making contest last week, all virtual, to help our international students who this year are studying with us from China to feel part of our school. Another aspect of that is that the American students learn the culture of our foreign students, and the foreign students learn the culture of the American students. And they're all very happy to share and learn. It's a small school, and it's a very welcoming atmosphere that way. Next slide, please. So there's
yes, that's the second video. Thank you so much, Karen. I'll do a quick overview here for our audience in Portuguese, and then we watch our second video. Pessoal, boa tarde. Aqui é a Andrea, para quem não me conhece ainda, sou representante da 3W aqui no Brasil. Então, nós tivemos aí a primeira parte da apresentação com a Karen. Vou fazer um rápido resumo em português, só para ficar bem claro aí tudo que foi dito. E vimos também o nosso primeiro vídeo, né, de tour pela escola. Então, acho que o primeiro vídeo já deu para perceber muito bem a estrutura dessa escola. É uma escola que oferece uma infraestrutura excelente, com quadras, ginásio, salas de computadores, biblioteca, salas de aula são bem espaçosas. A gente viu aí as fotos que a Karen comentou, foram tiradas depois, já que a gente iniciou, né, a pandemia, então nós percebemos as salas aí com as carteiras bem afastadas, né? Então, esse vídeo estará disponível no nosso YouTube depois. Acho que é bem bacana para a gente conseguir perceber aí, até compartilhar com as famílias como que é a escola, né? Então, a Notre Dame está localizada no estado de Nova York, Então, a gente sabe que é um destino bastante procurado também, né, por brasileiros, mais especificamente na cidade de Elmira, que é uma cidade pequena, fica aí cerca de 4 horas de Nova York, né? Então, ali é um ambiente tranquilo, um ambiente familiar e um ambiente muito seguro também, né? Elas até compartilharam que algumas delas, os filhos estudaram na escola. Então, para o brasileiro que muitas vezes gosta desse ambiente bem familiar, um ambiente bem acolhedor, né, caloroso, é bem bacana essa escola, né, por conta disso. Então, eles realmente são uma comunidade, é uma escola bastante familiar, né? E ela está perto ali de várias cidades grandes, né? Então, para um perfil de high school é bem legal, né? A gente sabe que esse perfil de cidade menor proporciona uma segurança para os nossos alunos, que é bem importante, e perto de grandes cidades, proporcionando aí bastante opção de lazer, de entretenimento e passeios, né? Além de estar perto de muitas universidades. Então, ela é uma escola muito conhecida aí pela preparação para a universidade, ela está perto de várias universidades, então muitos dos nossos alunos que querem estudar nos Estados Unidos depois, desejam visitar as universidades, né? Conhecer ali de perto, realmente fazer um tour nas universidades. Então, essa localização é muito privilegiada porque os alunos realmente conseguem fazer isso, né? Visitar realmente as escolas, aliás, as universidades. A acomodação da Notre Dame é boarding, né? Mais especificamente atravessando a rua, né? Então, os alunos têm ali toda a estrutura necessária para eles. O quarto é individual. Esse é um super diferencial, né? A gente sabe que o brasileiro gosta bastante de quarto individual, então a escola consegue oferecer isso. Os banheiros são compartilhados, mas ali dentro da acomodação eles têm toda a estrutura necessária. Então, eles têm a parte de lavanderia, eles têm uma grande sala ali com videogame, com TV, ping-pong, sinuca, né? E até mesmo as refeições também, os nossos alunos fazem ali na acomodação também, né? A parte do jantar e do café da manhã. E o bacana é que, por ser a boarding, né, os house parents, os responsáveis ali pela acomodação, eles dão um suporte acadêmico também. Então, para um aluno realmente focado aí nos estudos, que quer fazer universidade nos Estados Unidos, ele tem todo esse suporte acadêmico ainda na acomodação. Então, é mais um diferencial da escola. Além de oferecer diversas atividades, tanto para os alunos internacionais, quanto para os alunos americanos. Eles até incentivam que os americanos participem dessas atividades, que também é bacana para o americano conhecer outras culturas, né? Eles têm até um ônibus da acomodação que leva os nossos alunos aí para algum tipo de viagem, de passeio ou de excursão, né? Então, uma escola bem completa também nesse sentido aí de acomodação, do acolhimento também, estendido à acomodação. E, é claro, eles têm um suporte vocacional excelente, todos os nossos alunos têm uma reunião com um conselheiro vocacional, para entender qual é o objetivo deles, né, o que eles pretendem aí para o futuro, e ajudar a traçar o plano de estudos juntos. E a escola oferece diversas opções de eletivas, inclusive as APs, né, que são aquelas matérias avançadas que concedem créditos para a universidade. Né? Além de todo o departamento de arte ser incrível, eles têm aí todo o suporte para o aluno que precisa montar um portfólio, né? Então, a escola é muito completa aí nessa questão da parte acadêmica, de preparação para a universidade, e estando num ambiente bem seguro, aí, né, no estado de Nova York, que também é um destino bem bacana e muito procurado por brasileiros, né? Agora nós vamos rodar o segundo vídeo, e em seguida vamos dar continuidade aí à apresentação.
We are students, taught by dedicated teachers who know us, understand our needs, and inspire us to strive to reach our true potential.
We are a family. We attend a Catholic school that provides a safe environment and welcomes students of all beliefs and faiths.
We are a community. As a ministry of the Sisters of Mercy, we reach out to our neighbors to show kindness and compassion. We help our neighbors both locally and in faraway places.
We are academic achievers. We consistently perform above the national standards for college entrance exams, but we are more than a test score. We embrace challenging coursework, we seek opportunities to grow, and apply our knowledge to problem solving.
We are artists and musicians. We have a passion and appreciation for the arts, led by a talented faculty who help us develop our skills and interests, making us shine.
We are a diverse student body. We embrace the wonderful diversity of our student body to create an atmosphere that celebrates our similarities and differences and offers rich learning opportunities.
We are teammates, whether on the field, the court, the bench, the stage, in the classroom, or in the stands. We are united in our support for one another.
We are athletes. We bring out the best in each other to push ourselves further than we ever thought possible.
We are future leaders. We are inquisitive. We are driven to succeed. We are problem solvers.
We are the Crusaders of Notre Dame High School in Elmira, New York. We proudly continue a tradition of excellence that generations before us began.
Karen, if you would like to start the rest of the presentation. We cannot hear you.
There we go. I'm sorry. I think the video actually probably said it better than I can. We'll flip through these. This is an example of our students in Science Olympiad, which they have competed and succeeded in the past. Next slide, please. This is another Science Olympiad creation where they had made it's a propulsion device. And we have parent volunteers working with this team, and we are happy to have all of our international students join us for all of our clubs and activities. One of the things we pride ourselves on is that besides the academics, we have a social life for our students, and by participating in our extracurricular activities, they can build friends, they can explore different areas of interest, and they can develop skills that they wouldn't have a chance to develop just in the classroom. And we encourage everyone to do that. Here's another Science Olympiad picture. Next slide, please. We have sports teams, and we are very happy to have all of our students participate in sports. We have years where 87 to 90% of our students participate in a sport at some time throughout the year. Next slide, we have everything for boys, we have for girls, we have soccer, basketball. Next slide, please. We have swimming, lacrosse. Next slide, please. We have track that happens fall, winter, and spring, because we have cross-country winter track, which in non-COVID years is inside, and then we have spring track. Next slide, please. And besides all that, we are the Sisters of Mercy School, and we're proud that we build a family that cares for each other and cares for our community. We have a campus minister who works with all of our students. They all participate in retreats, and they all participate in something called a Mercy Movement Day, where we reach out into the community and serve in all sorts of different ways. Next slide, please. They have been cleaning up homes of the elderly who can't take care outside. We had some flooding several years ago, and we took a whole class up to help clean out all the damage from the severe flooding that happened. Next slide, please. This is again working. I'm not sure what they were doing with the green thing, but they were working and painting to help build and to clean up homes for people who are re-entering the community after being in rehabilitation. Next slide, please. This is our chorus getting ready to sing, and it's also part of our Golden Mass, which is our Christmas celebration, where we adopt families within our community who've been identified by the school nurses in Elmira as having needs, and we provide food and necessities for the family as well as gifts for the children. And it's the last thing we do before Christmas. We have mass, we sing, we light candles, and it's a big moment that our seniors especially take with them, but it brings in the community, the grandparents, the parents, the alumni, and the students to all celebrate the joy of being together and accomplishing something for the community in a time of need. Next slide, please. And of course, this is what we look like now. Our students are masked all day, every day, unless they're eating in the cafeteria. Their desks are all 6 feet apart, and you can see that they're taped so that they don't move them around. Next slide, when they enter the building in the morning, everyone that enters has their temperature taken. We're enforcing one-way directions in the hallways. They're 6 feet apart. All the students and staff fill out a morning health check online to make sure that nobody has any COVID symptoms or has been exposed to anybody with COVID. Next slide, please. There's somebody having his temperature taken on the way in. We take it very seriously. And part of my job is working with the health department to make sure that we're following all of the rules and making sure that anyone who has had any symptoms or any exposures gets the care that they need. We did testing when we were required to by New York State. That's the cafeteria spread apart. The brown tables that are standing up in the back near the crucifix are how we like to eat socially across from each other so that we can have some interaction. And this year we're eating at tables 6 feet apart, and actually they're pretty much done eating because they have their masks on, but they really only take their masks off to eat. We have hand sanitizer in every classroom. All of our rooms are disinfected after every class. There's cleaning after school. But we take their health very seriously, and it's our goal. And like I said, that's really a goal of Chemung County that we live in, is that we want everybody to be as healthy as we can. And these days, that's a huge concern. Next slide, please. We also are successful. That's right after graduation when the graduates leave and they toss their caps and gowns. And that makes me tear up every single time. We're very proud of our graduates. 95% of all of our students graduate with a Regents diploma. That's a New York State diploma. They have the option of getting special endorsements with an advanced Regents, endorsement in math, endorsement in science, endorsement for honors. So we have that. And 90% of our students go to college right after graduation. You can go to the next slide, please. We're very happy to send them. And I think one of our almost hidden gems is that our guidance department is really, really good at working through the college application process, helping students to identify what schools would be good for them and would meet their needs, as well as helping them get all the volumes of paperwork. And that's several graduations ago, but there are our class on stage. Kind of the capstone moment of the year. We're very proud of all of them. And we're successful. I think you can just consider that all of the people who are on here are students. We're part of this family. They're part of the Notre Dame family. They succeed at home, but they also succeed in the friendships that they carry with them forever. These kids are all in college all over the place and doing quite well. And they come back, they return. There's some of our younger kids, but we consider ourselves a family. We're good at taking care of each other. The kids take care of each other. They come and will tell you if they think they're worried that someone doesn't feel good or someone doesn't have something that they need and they want to help that person. If we have sickness or any sort of crisis in a family, this school pulls together like nowhere I have ever been to support each other through that crisis. And it's not just the people in the building, it's the graduates, it's the alumni, it's the families. People just step right up and say, what can I do to help? So we're, I think all of us, very proud to be part of the Notre Dame family. And we would be very proud to welcome you to our family as well. So if you have any questions at all, please ask away.
Thank you very much, Karen. I'm going to do a quick summary in Portuguese, and then Andrea will also talk about the enrollment in Portuguese, and then we're going to go for our questions and answers. Então, vou fazer aqui passar um highlight, né, do que a Karen falou nos últimos slides, né, falando que faz muito importante na escola os clubes, as atividades, né, a vida social dos estudantes. Ela mostrou vários slides aí do clube de ciências, né, onde a escola inteira se envolve, os pais ajudam, vocês viram várias fotos disso. O esporte também é muito importante na escola, né, ela comentou aqui que 90% dos alunos fazem algum esporte durante o ano. A escola oferece, né, vários, desde basquete, soccer, futebol americano, track, então uma variedade grande de esportes por temporada que o estudante pode escolher, né? E sendo uma escola católica, também faz parte, né, da escola os trabalhos voluntários, né? Contribuir para a sociedade, para a comunidade. A gente viu várias fotos dos estudantes ajudando, desde, ela mostrou, né, eles tiveram uns anos atrás problemas eles ajudando as pessoas mais velhas na casa, eles tiveram mudações, ajudando a pintar a casa das pessoas que não podem, e até ela mostrou também algumas fotos da celebração de Natal, onde o coro da escola canta junto, a escola, né, adota várias famílias que têm carentes na região. Nessa parte também do Natal, as famílias inteiras da escola, desde ex-alunos, os alunos, se envolvem para ajudar a comunidade. Ela mostrou também várias fotos da escola, dos protocolos do Covid-19, né? A escola está aberta desde agosto, então os alunos estão tendo aulas presenciais, desde agosto de 2020, estão tendo aula no momento, com todos esses protocolos que a gente viu nas fotos e ela mostrou. Eles usam máscaras o dia inteiro, só tiram máscara no horário de lanche, eles têm distanciamento social na entrada da escola, na saída, eles ficam com o distanciamento social durante as salas de aulas, durante as refeições, e tem sido muito bem controlado na escola, tanto e na cidade, né? Ela mencionou no início da apresentação também aí que quase 90% dos professores já foram vacinados, tá? Então, assim, então está sendo bem controlado o coronavírus na escola e na região. Ela também, né, falou que ela se orgulha muito dos estudantes quando eles se graduam, né? Ela falou que ela fica até emocionada quando vê as fotos. 90% dos alunos vão para uma universidade após terminarem a escola. Ela comentou que o departamento deles, né, de ajuda universitária, os conselheiros universitários são especiais e vão sempre além para ajudar os estudantes a entrar nas universidades americanas. E a escola é uma grande família. Ela falou que todo mundo se ajuda, desde a parte acadêmica, a parte social, se alguém está doente. A comunidade dos ex-alunos é muito forte, mesmo quando os alunos vão para universidades, vão ao trabalho, eles mantêm essa amizade. Então, isso é muito importante. E agora eu vou passar para a Andrea, para passar um pouquinho do processo de inscrição na escola, e se vocês já quiserem fazendo as perguntas aqui no chat para Notre Dame, para elas responderem depois.
Bom, pessoal, vamos falar rapidamente aí do processo operacional, né, do processo de matrícula. Então, quando a gente tem um aluno interessado, como é que fazemos aqui na 3W? Então, nós dividimos o nosso processo de matrícula em 2 etapas, né? Então, primeiro a gente faz um processo de aceitação e só depois desse processo de aceitação é que o aluno finaliza o preenchimento do application. Então, isso daqui é bem bacana e ajuda bastante os nossos alunos, né? Então, o processo de aceitação que envolve, nós temos um pré-application, né? Nesse pré-application, nós temos ali informações gerais do aluno, tudo que é importante para a escola avaliar o perfil desse aluno. Então, realmente, dados gerais, a parte médica do aluno, ainda não precisamos de nenhuma assinatura de médico, mas só o histórico realmente médico desse aluno. Uma carta em inglês, né, aquela carta de intenção, contando por que quer fazer o programa, quais são os seus objetivos. Precisamos de 2 cartas de recomendação, que é do professor de inglês e do professor de matemática aqui do Brasil. Além disso, o histórico escolar, né? Então, as notas desse aluno dos últimos 3 anos, com uma tradução simples. Precisamos do teste de inglês, que geralmente é o ELTS, os alunos fazem o ELTS aí na agência mesmo, caso o aluno tenha algum outro teste, né, um Cambridge, de repente, a gente pode enviar para a escola também. E com tudo isso, nós agendamos uma entrevista por Skype em inglês, tá? Essa entrevista tem duração aí de 10, 15 minutinhos, e é mais um bate-papo mesmo, né? Essa entrevista fica gravada, é realmente para a escola aqui, com toda essa documentação, entender qual é o perfil desse aluno e enxergar se ele se encaixa ou não ali nessa comunidade, né? Após feito esse processo, já recebemos a resposta da escola em relação à aceitação do aluno. Então, o aluno sendo aceito, a gente vai enviar para vocês a carta de aceitação e o application, né, da escola. E nós ajudamos nesse preenchimento do application, tá? Então, muitas vezes, a gente agenda até mesmo nesse momento aí um call operacional já, a gente faz o passo a passo do application com vocês, né? Essa segunda etapa de application é um pouco mais burocrática, então a gente tem a parte médica, temos vários papéis aí para serem assinados pelos responsáveis, a parte de custódia, né? Então é uma parte um pouco mais burocrática, mas a gente ajuda vocês aí do início ao fim. Inclusive, eu e a Natália estamos sempre à disposição para fazer atendimentos com vocês. Então, tendo um aluno interessado, pode entrar em contato com a gente agenda um call, fala mais detalhes da escola, né? Isso é muito bacana, para o aluno conhecer mais aí, informações tanto da escola quanto da 3W, e aí, juntos, né, nós passamos bastante segurança para essa família. Então, estamos à disposição de vocês do início ao fim, né, ajudando aí nesse processo de indicação da escola, durante o processo operacional e durante também o high school desse aluno, damos todo o suporte para ele em tudo que ele precisar. E aí, vocês têm alguma dúvida? Se tiverem, pode mandar aí no chat, que estaremos respondendo aí junto com a escola.
We have one question here, ladies. They're asking if you can share a little bit more information about the soccer team at the school, boys and girls, or if it's co-ed, and the season, and how being the achievement of the soccer team.
Sure, we have both boys and girls soccer teams. They're separate, they're not co-ed. We have starting in 7th grade, we have a 7th and 8th grade, we call it a modified team because it's not high school yet. And so there is a coach for each separate for the boys and the girls teams. And they play other smaller schools in our area in games. And they are learning more at that stage of the game. So there's a lot more instruction when it comes to soccer with the 7th and 8th graders. A lot of them come from being on club teams or teams around town, but they're still kind of learning a lot. When it comes to the high school, 9 through 12, we have soccer teams, sometimes 2 boys teams and 2 girls teams, and sometimes just 1 boys team and 1 girls team. It really depends on the number of kids who want to play. And again, this is separate for boys and girls, and we are in a league that plays other smaller schools in our area. And we have a beautiful, I don't know if you saw in the video, but we have a beautiful turf field where the kids practice and play their games on. And the soccer programs have won a lot of, I was just noticing, a lot of championships. There's banners up in the gym and outside there's been a lot of success with our soccer program here, yes.
Thank you very much.
Sure.
I think we have one more question, Andrea.
Sim, bom, pessoal, a gente tem uma pergunta aqui sobre o banheiro na acomodação. Então, ladies, we have a question here about the bathroom at the accommodation. How many bathrooms are available for the students? Do you know?
In the dormitory?
Yes, in the dormitories.
I mean, if they have to share,
is it shared?
That's the question they'd like to know. With how many students do they have to share the bathroom?
Oh, I didn't really count. Michelle,
Just an average, maybe.
I'd say probably 4 or 5 at most. there's several bathrooms scattered throughout the dorm. There are room for 28 students, but we've only had up to 11 or 14, so that really hasn't been an issue. And there's extra bathrooms downstairs where the rooms are not, so that they can use them for, they don't have to run upstairs if they're down in the dining room or in the community room or any of the study rooms.
So the sharing then really comes with showering, right? And so they are private,
Yes.
but they do have to share them. It's not like a community shower where, like in college, when I went to college in the US, there were like 6 showers and there was a door and a curtain. It's a private bathroom. It's just shared with a few students.
Perfect.
And obviously, boys and girls don't share the same.
Right, definitely.
Bom, pessoal, elas explicaram um pouquinho aí do banheiro, né? Tem vários banheiros pela casa, né? Então, elas deram uma média aí de 4 a 5 alunos por banheiro, mas é um banheiro grande, né? Aquele banheiro que a gente vê estilo academia ou vestiário, mas são sempre separados, né? Os chuveiros, então é privativa ali a parte do chuveiro. Ele só tem que compartilhar realmente a outra área ali do banheiro, mas são vários banheiros espalhados pela casa, elas informaram.
Ladies, we have one more question here regarding if the school has the start date for fall 2021 and what's the school plan. You know, I know the school is open now, or it's going to follow the same plan, or do you expect any change for fall 2021?
Trish, do you want to answer that, or do you want me to do it?
Well, so we don't know exactly, and I hate to say that answer, but as you know, currently we're in the building 4 days a week, and we have 1 day virtual. We also have students who have the option to stay virtual. We have a handful of those kids actually staying home. And so our hope and prayer is that we're open 5 days a week, and that everybody's back in the building. And from what we're seeing and what we're hearing, it's a real possibility for the fall. But we have to take that direction from our county and from the health department. But that is our hope right now. As far as when school starts, staff comes back first and then students come in. And
September
I don't know
9th.
September 9th.
We would expect it September 9th, somewhere in that range.
Is the first day of academics, but when it comes to international students arriving, I don't know the answer, but I would guess that they would arrive at least several days prior to that happening.
Really, it would depend on the dorm and Twin Palms running the dorm and opening it. Of course, if they wanted to do sports, they could come back sooner if the dorm was open.
Can I mention one thing?
Sure.
Typically, when we were not in COVID times and the dorm was running, the Chinese students that are international students would come at least a week ahead of the start date of the school. And what that provides us is an opportunity to orient them to the school, have them meet with the guidance counselor to talk a little bit about their classes to help them get matched, help them get acclimated to the area. We usually do a small student orientation with them. So we strive to help make the transition into Notre Dame a real smooth process for them. But we do have to coordinate with Twin Palms on the arrival date.
Wonderful, thank you. Então, elas passaram para a gente que, né, elas ainda não têm certeza, que elas dependem do Departamento de Saúde da cidade, mas o que eles estão prevendo, a grande chance é que eles vão ter 5 dias de aula presencial. No momento, a escola está aberta desde agosto, mas com 4 dias de aulas presencial e 1 dia de aula online. E eles estão dando a opção dos alunos que não se sentem, né, confortáveis em fazer aula presencial, fazer aula de casa. Mas eles preveem que em agosto todos os alunos vão estar fazendo as aulas presenciais na escola. Em relação à chegada, eles ainda não têm a data definida devido né, ao COVID, mas eles preveem que vai ser no início de setembro, dia 9 de setembro, e os alunos internacionais chegam uma semana antes para ter orientações, para selecionar as classes. Então, isso, a escola depois vai passar o calendário exato no próximo mês.
Nós temos mais uma pergunta aqui sobre os clubs oferecidos pela escola. So, ladies, we have another question here about clubs. What kind of clubs does the school offer for the students?
We have clubs that cover the range from writing for the school newspaper to the yearbook, which they can also get high school credit for. We have a musical in the fall and a dramatic play in the spring that in non-COVID times that we would be happy to have students join. We just started a debate club yesterday. What else do we have? We have the Science Olympiad. Robotics is huge, and there's a younger student and an older student part of that.
Quiz League, Scholarship Challenge.
Quiz League and Scholarship Challenge are competitive Jeopardy type events where we compete with other schools. There are some honor societies, of course, the band and chorus. I'm going through the building thinking of who has clubs. Depending on what students are interested, we had the opportunity for a film appreciation club, and we have that as a class, but we've also had at one time a film making club. We have a Go
Council, student government.
Right. Go Green is an environmental concern group that tries to deal with recycling.
A lot of options.
Yeah. Many options.
Wow, that's
and we're
great.
Also very open to what students are interested in. So that's how Debate Club happened.
Right.
They came to us and said, we would really like to have a debate club. That's something we could do virtually or in person. They had their first in-person meeting yesterday, and it was a joy to hear them all talking. Socially distanced, but they were having fun, and we needed that.
One of the things I always say to kids in school is, like, if you have a club and you have an interest, gather the group of people who you think would be interested in the club to get it started. Find yourself an adult who will supervise and sponsor that club. And yeah, let's get it going. I actually, last year, the school I was at ended up doing a TikTok club. I know it was interesting, but I had a bunch of fifth graders that wanted to dance after school, and they wanted a TikTok club. And I said, all right, I'll do it with you. And we had a blast until March 13th. So yeah, if they have ideas, you know, and they come and they get a couple of people that are also interested, it's amazing how they can get something started so easily.
That's true. Thank you so much. Bom, pessoal, a gente falou aí um pouquinho dos clubs, né, das atividades extracurriculares que a escola oferece. Então, são vários os clubs, elas mencionaram alguns aí de robótica, falaram alguns de artes, né, teatro, musicais, e elas comentaram aqui que ontem deu início aí a um clube de debate, e que se não tiverem um clube ali, ou um clube que o aluno se interesse, eles são sempre encorajados a criar o clube. Então, basta ali eles terem um grupo de pessoas interessadas naquele assunto, encontrar um funcionário, um professor que tem interesse em supervisionar esse clube, e eles dão início, né, aos clubes. Inclusive, é super interessante os nossos alunos fazerem isso, é algo super bacana para adquirir ali iniciativa, liderança, trabalho em equipe, e a gente sempre recomenda que os alunos participem bastante aí dos clubes. É mais uma maneira de entrar na comunidade da escola, de interagir, conhecer pessoas e fazer amigos. Né? Então, os clubes são super importantes aí na rotina, né, de uma escola americana, são super tradicionais.
Ladies, we have one more question, the last question here. It's about the boardings and the breaks. If in a no COVID year, if the board will close during Thanksgiving and spring break, and if the students have to leave and if they do, if the school would offer, you know, or suggest any trips around the area, or how we'll work on the breaks. In a no COVID year, I think they're asking.
Michelle, do you want to do that one?
So historically, Twin Palms has always looked at what the students are doing, and they work with the students to figure out who desires to travel home and helps them book their tickets to go home, and who decides they'd like to remain in the States. Sometimes the international students do want to do some short-term trips, and I believe Twin Palms offers a program that they can sign up to do a trip, and they would do it through Twin Palms. And there are sometimes, especially when the break isn't long, like Thanksgiving, where the kids will stay right at the dormitory during that period of school closure. I'd say a good portion of them would travel home for the Christmas holiday. One of the things that the kids do need to know is that they do need to report back when it's time for school to go back into session and not extend their stay out, especially coming off the Christmas break. The teachers are preparing students for midterm exams. So it's real important that they stick within the time frame of the break.
Thank you, Michelle.
Sure.
Então, a Michelle, ela passou aqui para a gente sobre o boarding, né? E sobre os intervalos do Thanksgiving, do Spring Break e do Natal. Ela disse que do Thanksgiving, do Spring Break, os alunos têm 3 opções. Eles podem voltar para casa, eles podem ficar no boarding, né? Tem um custo adicional, mas é a possibilidade. Ou a escola, ou a Twin Palms, oferecem viagens locais nos Estados Unidos. Entre o Natal e o Ano Novo, a maioria dos estudantes acaba retornando para casa.
And I think the other thing, Natalia, is that I think if they do travel with Twin Palms, they would have to pay Twin Palms whatever fees were associated with that travel.
Okay, thank you. So she's also mentioning again that those trips, there are extra fees. And then with Twin Palms offer, there are... vou falar em português, desculpa. Ela falou, então, que as taxas, né, das viagens são extras, elas são opcionais. Se o estudante optar em fazer, tem um custo extra. I think there are all the questions that we have here, ladies. Thank you very much for your time. That was wonderful presentation and details about the schools. And
Thank you for having us.
Yes, thank you very much. And please, any questions that you have, we're at your call. We would be happy to answer them.
We're going to end the presentation now. Thank you very much, all. Muito obrigada pela presença de todos.
Tchau, tchau, pessoal. Obrigada.
Thank you.